Good morning, boys and girls of the internet. So does anybody remember a year or two back when we bought a Dodge Ram for $500 and we fixed it? Do you want to see me do it again? I'm just asking. It's a rhetorical question. We're going to do it again, but this time we've moved up. This is a third gen. Well, I don't know if this is third gen facelift. Yeah, third gen facelift truck. Not quite a fourth gen yet. By facelift, it's got the larger headlights in it that don't contour with the bumper, things like that. So jumping into it, it's like a 7 model Dodge Ram 1500. Pretty standard on the inside. It's got power lower with manual recline. 191 on the clock. You know, power stuff, typical. It's got a CD player. Got the wood trim, all that. I love the interiors on the Dodges. You got way more, like the console and stuff, perfectly flat surface, big old cup holders. These are better than the second gen trucks. They don't break near as bad as the second gens do, which they make replacements now on Amazon, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, the truck was $500, and we'll talk about some of the things that make it a $500 truck, starting with bumper's got a little spot in it. The grill pushed in a little bit at the bottom, but you know we can fix that. Under the hood, it's got the little motor. It's got the 4.7. These are either love them or you hate them. Most people hate them. This one's in the category of currently not being loved. For coolant, there's some in there, but the system is pressurizing way too quick. We have exhaust gases leaking into the cooling system. It is not burning out the tailpipe, and it's not mixing in the oil. So if it's a head failure, then whatever it is, it's cracked and it's just leaking through a coolant passage, which either way, at least it's not burning in it. Came with a new battery, excuse me. It's got a newer radiator in it. It's got a newer water pump on it. The story goes the truck was running hot and they just kept driving it as it was running hot, and they were dumping water in it, and then finally they slowly began to replace cooling system components, but by that point it was too late for the little 4.7. She had already started having a nuclear meltdown. Once again, $500 Dodge truck, keep that in mind. Tires on it, all 4 of them are in really good shape. I mean, they're meaty. And back here is our problem child. The bed has been hit pretty dang hard. Slid it into a pole or something, from what I understand. I don't know. I think what we're gonna do, because of how far it's in there, I'm gonna drill some holes, run a 2x4 or something up in here maybe, I don't know, and then pull it out the best we can and hammer on it. I don't think it's gonna be perfect. We just need it to be slightly straight, you know, because right now she's waving pretty bad. But when they did this, they hit the rear end and they tore all this up. So it's got new axle, bearings, hub, brakes, caliper, line, all that stuff is new on the rear, so that's good. Even if it's, you know, a little cattywampus going down the road, at least all those parts are new. The 4.7, it does still run. The fuel pump is weak in it. So the first couple times I had it running, I had to come back here and whack the top of the pump. And that's when I noticed this stuff. We got a line unhooked, and here's the filler neck tube going nowhere. They knew it was gonna need a fuel pump, and for whatever reason, they pulled the filler neck tube out. Still don't know what the deal was with that, but they did that. I drove it into the shop a minute ago. Let's see if it'll start up again. Yep. Now, the tack is a little funny. It doesn't read perfectly accurate, but when it's running, it runs nice and smooth. There's no skip, there's no smoke. It's got dual exhaust on it, no warning lights. Sounds good. So $500. Oh, and this window is busted. I guess the tent is holding it together. I don't know, but the glass is broke. But $500 Dodge truck, clean title. I bet it's already built. Yeah, it's already starting to build a little bit of pressure in the cooling system. So you know where this is headed. That's right. Got me a piece of hose. I'm gonna bypass the heater core right there. Those are your two lines that feed your heater core. We're gonna bypass those. Below it is the thermostat. We're gonna pull that and drill a couple holes in it. Then we're gonna fill this thing full of Blue Devil head gasket sealer, because it's a $500 Dodge truck. These motors have finally came down in price. I can get a used one for less than $1,500 with okay miles on it. Most importantly, they come with a guarantee. However, you know, the truck being semi-nice but so cheap, we're going to do the Blue Devil method first. Everybody needs a cheap truck, whether it's to get you through the winter, the summer, whatever your season of choice is. And since we got rid of the green Dodge truck, the one that we did a couple years ago now, the $500 one, it served us well, and it's time to move on to another $500 Dodge truck. So let's start fixing this thing, and I got to go get the Blue Devil first. We've got our heater core lines bypassed. It does not matter that they're kinked, just so long as water's not flowing through the heater core. It'll flow through the engine just fine. So these are bypassed now, and we're pulling the thermostat. Let me show you what some dumbass did. So I know the cooling system has been overhauled in this truck. Check out the Permatex job going on up in there. I mean, they have absolutely caked that thing in Permatex. You don't have to do that, because these thermostats have a rubber O-ring on them. Anytime you're dealing with an O-ring like this, there's no need to put Permatex. This housing right here can get warped. If you look real close, it might look like it's slightly bowed in the center. So if you're leaking after replacing a thermostat, go buy a new $15 housing. You won't have that problem anymore. You should never have to put RTV like that. But somebody did. We're going to take this thermostat. You see it has one hole right here. This hole is to be pointed in the up position when you install these thermostats, and that's to let the air bubbles out. But what we're going to do is we're going to drill a bunch of holes all the way around this, just probably about 4. And that's going to allow more coolant to flow past the thermostat before it opens. The thermostat is a 195, which is a little warm for us about to Blue Devil it. And the extra holes going around it are going to let the coolant flow freely through the engine block even before it's completely warmed up. We want that Blue Devil to move around good as it warms up. So we're gonna go grab a thermostat housing in our Blue Devil, because that thermostat housing is so warped where it was, 1, over tightened, and 2, it's just been on there so long it's bubbled out in the middle. And like I said, those housings are super cheap, so we're just gonna go grab one in our free F-150, you know? Makes sense. Still haven't decided what to do. The comments, man, you guys were split down the middle, either wanting me to fix the dirty Dodge, put a transmission in it, and then a lot of you wanted me to keep the tan F-150 since it didn't have rust in it. But we're about to not have an F-150 at all if that guy don't come flying around that curve. Anyway, I thought keeping this truck would have been the move since it works, but I don't know. You guys want me to put a transmission in the tan one or fix the dirty Dodge? Either one's not happening right now. Right now, we've got to fix a $500 Dodge. So we must have had a really hot summer or something, because I could only find that one, the pour and go style, and you can actually leave the heater core and all that stuff connected on that kind, but that's not what I wanted. I wanted the big bottle of the old school stuff, but everybody's completely sold out. So we're gonna try this. I'm gonna leave the heater core bypassed and the thermostat the way it is, since I've already got all the stuff, though. It'll work or it won't, you know? Look down in here, our new thermostat housing is in. We got all that done. Now it's time, we're gonna put some coolant in it, get some Blue Devil in the system, and see what happens. I'm gonna leave the air box off, because the intake air temperature sensor is right here in the neck, which means there's nothing that's not plugged in. There's no MAF sensor through here, so we can just leave it the way it is. Let's put a concoction in there, see what it does. Truck's running now. We added the Blue Devil to the radiator, And I just topped it off with water. We're just gonna use water for right now. I don't think that one bottle is gonna be big enough. I bet I'm gonna have to do 2. But I've had this stuff work many, many times. And wants it to run for about 50 minutes or so. I'm gonna set a timer. We'll just see what happens. So the truck just stalled. Hasn't finished running yet. And the fuel pump has quit. Now, I knew there was an issue with the fuel pump because I was having to whack on it every now and then to get it running. But I think it just completely shit the bed on me. Speaking of beds, that's how we're going to access the pump on these trucks. I'm going to lift the bed off. This bed has had rust repair done one time, as you can see by the haze. It's already bubbling through. And as you remember, she's caved in. So I went to take the bed bolts out. The very rear bolt was in on this side. That bolt was maybe 3 turns in. This rear bolt was in, the middle one was missing, front one was loose. So someone already was gonna take this bed off at one point before, assuming to access that fuel pump. Also, since we knew that the hoses were missing. I guess this was step 1 of them gonna remove it, but they didn't complete the task at hand. So anyway, now what we're gonna do is jack this bed up at an angle and try to get to that pump. So it's now inside, and you see there's no bed because it's on the rack above it. The great thing about having a bed that's already knackered, is you can just put the lift arms anywhere, and as long as it comes off, it's off. So I had got the bed tilted outside, broke the nipple off the pump trying to get the quick connect off. It was frozen, which is fine. This pump is no good, and we knew that this was already missing. Now we can knock the lock ring off, pop this guy out, and all we have to do is set the new pump in it. I ain't even got to put the bed back on right now. We can just set her in there and let her run. And we're back. I had to stop and eat some lunch. I was about to starve. So we got our new pump. It's by Precision. I like Precision pumps. They have a good warranty. They're usually priced accordingly. And speaking of price, there's 3 different pump options for these Dodge Rams based on the size of the fuel tank that it has. Now, I don't know what size fuel tank it has, so I went with the best option, which was the cheapest pump they have, because the picture looked pretty similar to mine. So we're going to try to put it in there, and if it works, then, well, it's going to work either way. Let's get this thing swapped out. Here they are, comparatively. Yep, they do both look like fuel pumps, if you ask me. They told me that, well, you're not going to be able to tell a visual difference. Whatever reason, I don't know. But I'll be damned, they're right. I can't tell a difference. And they're the same height, so let's put it in. And in case you're wondering about the zip ties, part of the clip is broke. And if you're worried about them little plastic zip ties holding that fuel connector on, that's just a little piece of plastic that holds it on originally. This is just a different style of plastic. And I mean, I can go get one. I didn't expect that one to be completely broke, but after trying to reinstall it, it is completely broke. But apparently this pump does work, which is good. So no more screwing around with that, I hope. But now we've got to let the truck go all the way through its cycle again, get warm. Hopefully the heads will seal. Approaching the 50-minute mark. Temperature's still good. We're not pushing any coolant out anywhere. Hoses are hot, firm, but they're kind of average firm. So that might be working. And speaking of working, the bed is back on. And after I bolted it down, I came over here with this contraption. And I'm seeing how much of this I can get pulled out with a come along. Now it's not going to work a miracle, but if I can get it pushed out far enough that I can wedge a spare tire jack in there and a football, I can probably get more of it out this way. But we're moving. I've probably moved it about 2.5 inches so far. I'm just literally just sitting here just working it like this and letting the tension sit for a second. And working it again. Letting the tension sit for a second. And it's coming. It's not going to be perfect, but you know, anything's better than this. I don't know if you can even tell anything happened, but the bottom at least got pulled back out. You know, the whole wheel was exposed. Now it's back up underneath the bed. And if nothing else, you know, it'll at least keep water and dirt from running over the edge of the bedside. That's what all these splatter marks and stuff, a lot of this is where it was caved so far up, the wheels just throwing shit up across the back of the cab. So the wheel's back under it now. That's a plus. Truck's still running good. I think we moved to the interior now. It really doesn't even need anything. Maybe just like, it's got some slip covers on the rear seats, but they're made for the truck and they're in great shape, so we're just gonna leave those. Same deal in the front. Seats, good shape, a little vacuum. There's really not even much stains or anything. These mats, they appear to be fitted to the truck, but in the bed, I don't think these are WeatherTechs, but there's a full set. Husky liners. Full set. The driver, passenger, and the rear Husky liners. So we'll hit these with a pressure washer and a scrub brush. And then we can lay these right in on top of this. We do need to vacuum all this up first. One more thing we found. Look at this. The dirty scrub brush in the bed. It's like they knew we were gonna need to scrub the mats. So now I'm gonna go get some Awesome or something and spray them. Remember, if you take your Husky mats out because they're dirty and the bottoms of them get dirty, you put them back in the truck, you're ruining the carpet that you're trying to save. That's why 2 of those I had to wash the bottom on because they had gotten mud and shit on them from being in the back of this dirty truck bed. But that's okay, we cleaned all that. The truck's run for a little over an hour now, which means temperature hand's still perfect. We can shut her down, cut the lights off. Now we'll let the truck rest. That head gasket sealer has to settle inside there. And I might roll it out there and wash up on the outside a little bit. I know I want to wash this bed out because this is gross. There's like red mud and stuff in here. I don't understand. I don't know. Anyway, probably need to vacuum the interior first. So let's do that. The inside is all vacuumed up now. I forgot these consoles, you have a center portion here with some kind of sticky crap left in it and a, what is ever that, Q-tip. And then you have this section here. And this had all kind of paperwork in it from the previous owner. So I'll let, whatever, we'll figure out what to do with all that. I don't want to just chunk it, we need to shred it or something. I got to get that Q-tip out, I forgot about that. Back. Just as clean now. I mean, it was clean before. I just went ahead and hit everything with a vacuum. Flip the floor mats over so the other side's drying. They should be done any second now. And we can throw them in here. something I noticed that was in the bed was the spare tire. And I looked underneath it, you know, because we had the bed off and everything, and the hanger and all that stuff is still there. And the tire was just in the bed. So underneath the back seat, lo and behold, are all the pieces that you connect together to slide into this hole. I think it goes right through there. Yeah. Slides through there. Hooks onto that. This piece slides over it. And that should be, yeah, lowering the spare tire carrier. So we're going to put the spare tire back where it goes. Spare is in good shape and it's fully inflated. About like that. Go. Now, one last thing I got to shove back into the bed. This part can be left entirely up to preference, but I like to start fresh with a new truck. And I don't have a horse. Yep, one piece at a time, that figures. Yeah, looks better already. There was a Under Armour sticker here and it had pretty much been reduced to dust. So it just kind of came right off. There are more stickers. I don't know how I'm gonna get this angle, but more stickers inside the truck. But this is the problem. They have a tent strip put inside the truck as well. So if you peel these off, you gotta be real careful, and you don't want to use a razor blade if you can help it, because you're gonna, if you catch that tent strip, you know, it's gonna be a mess. And in a lot of places, the tent strip on the interior window like this is illegal anyway. It varies by state, province, township, stuff like that. But anyway, I don't know too much about the law here, but we're taking them off either way. There's a Yeti sticker on it from the coolers. Come on, there we go. The last one is Local Girl Outfitters. In case you didn't know, the truck was lady owned. Oh, this one's gonna leave a nice shitty residue. I'm not peeling all that off. At least the sticker itself is gone. Oh, one more. Got a sea turtle. Oh, great. There we go. All better. In the bed, there's a pile of these little nails that look like nails that you would have almost like old square head nails from old home, but I know that's not what they are. I'm assuming these are some kind of fairing nails for like horseshoes. I don't know what they're called. Whatever they're called, you can tell me in the comments. I'm not a horse guy. I don't know. But I think there's a bunch of these like 2x8 little Torx bit screws. Oh, here's the box. We can save those. Those might be useful elsewhere in the future. There's a ton of them underneath the bed liner, so I'm gonna have to get the bed liner up. But I'm gonna pull this liner out so that I can wash the bed. And I don't want all these going out here in the parking lot. So I'm gonna pick them all up, put them in this cup, and then I can throw the whole cup away. So underneath that mat, there's another 40 pounds of mud. I mean, that's like an inch thick or more right here in the corner. I don't understand where all this come from. It's a two-wheel drive truck. Were you just hauling mud? I don't know. That's okay. I'm gonna back it out into the parking lot. I already rinsed the mat off to get the big clumps of mud off. So we'll roll it over, back the truck up, and start, getting it out. I think I'm gonna use the pressure washer to clean that mat though. Bed's nice and clean now. Those are just some stains of the mud. I didn't scrub it, but you want to get all that out because any of that sitting in there is what's going to cause it to rust, especially if you put it under a liner like this. So the liner is going to have to be scrubbed really good to get these mud stains out. So it's going to wait a minute. I'm losing sunlight today. We're going to focus on these wheels for a second. I don't know what even is all in the spray bottle at this point. I've just mixed some stuff up. But we'll see if it'll cut through any of that brake dust. Oh yeah. Yeah, those are going to come nice and clean. Well, the wheels all came out looking great. More mud washing out of that damn bed. So I guess now that brings us to the part of the program where I might as well give it a half-assed bath. I'm not the king of car washes or anything, but I'd much rather just drive it through one. However, we're already here. Let's go ahead and bathe it. I'm wrapping this one up for the day. So she's had her bath, she got a fuel pump, she got some head gasket treatment, and I feel like it's working. It's hard to tell. We're not overheating, we're not losing any coolant or anything. I do want to maybe revisit that if I can find the big bottle. Those small bottles are mostly for 4 and 6 cylinder engines. They make a larger bottle that's specifically for V8 motors. So I might look into finding one of the big bottles or another small bottle to continue the treatment. I mean, it's got pressure in it, it's warm. I just ran it, I drove it up and down the parking lot, and that's when I noticed this front brake is making horrendous noises. I'm pretty sure it's metal to metal on the back side, which would not surprise me. But remember, it's a cheap truck. We're not that concerned with it. We'll take care of that. But that's a project for another day. I'm going home, and we'll revisit this in the next clip, whenever that may be. But so far, I'm feeling pretty good about it. But definitely gonna have to have brakes. But look how nice it looks, all washed up. I mean, she really cleaned up good. We got all those mats put in. Cut the interior lights on. That's just water from my boots. Look at that. I mean, she's a sharp little truck. So anyway, yep, next step, brakes. So a few days have passed. It's been a whole nother week now. And driving the truck again, the front left brakes are turned to metal on metal. I think I mentioned that. So we're gonna have to do something about that. But I wanted to, the rotor's already shot, you know, and we're not eating through the caliper or nothing. It's just the pad material where it's got to the metal base. So we've been driving it a little bit to see if this truck's gonna hold together. And so far, everything has been doing pretty well. All of our vitals looking pretty good. For a thermostat that's got a bunch of holes drilled in it, the temperature is acceptable. I wouldn't call it great or nothing, but it's acceptable. And yeah, looked like the Blue Devil worked, and the truck drives great. It really does, and it shifts good. Check engine light is on for the evap leak from the hose that's missing. But look at that, runs out like a top. Got the brake parts ordered, so let's. Oh, those are longer than I thought. I already pre-loosened them, if you're wondering. They were on there, but this is the wheel that's got most of the noise. Look at those brand new tires. This thing's got some cleats. That was worth $500 at the truck level. Yeah, the inside of this rotor looks like a record. Luckily, these are easy to change, and I got all the parts. Looking in here, look, the pad actually slid. It's got some sharp burrs on it too, but the pad slid out of the bracket, so it's jammed down in there, which is fine. We're gonna take this whole thing off to replace the rotor, but you can kind of get a sneak peek of what the rotor looks like. Not good. As we thought, there's the rear pad. It's toasted. It's got a bunch of jagged burrs on it too. So. But there's that. And over here is our rotor. She's no good. That stuff's trash. But I got new parts. And yeah, the caliper's hanging. Shut up. Things we want to do before we put a new rotor on. Fluid film. The last two cans I got have not been that great as far as like the spray goes. I don't know what's going on. Fluid film, check your nozzles, because they're just no good. And then the other thing you want to do is take your new rotor. Get all that the oil on it from where it was shipped. That on the face, it's not a problem. That's just more fluid film residue. And actually that'll help us in the long run. It'll keep the aluminum wheel from freezing up and sticking on the hub. Brake caliper. Check your pins. You want to make sure they move freely. A lot of times if you're dragging one side of the pads like that, you could have an issue with the caliper, or in most cases, the caliper bracket. These pins move pretty good. I am going to pack some new grease in there just a little bit. We'll get it all put back together. New stuff is on, caliper's back on, pins are all greased up, it's all tightened. Looks good. Sounds a lot better too. I'm sure it'll drive a lot better without all that racket every time you touch the pedal. Back on the ground, just going over, checking all our fluids. We spun a filter on it while we were here. Got fresh oil in it. Coolant, still full. Looks good. I haven't hooked that air tube up in the breather yet. Still probably gonna wait on that. Nah, screw it. Let's go ahead and put it on. Now remind me, you guys, in a few weeks, if we're still driving it at that point and I go to cut the heat on and there ain't any, because yeah, I haven't hooked that heater core back up. But once again, that's one of those problems for future me to worry about. Present me, concerned. Should he be? Probably. But he's not. I don't know what a green performance filter is, but somebody put one on here. So that's cool, I guess. Gotta tighten up those two hoses, the clamps. First time I noticed it had aftermarket fog lights in it when I was under the truck. I was just poking around, check them out. Yellow. Oh no, so these lights are all lit up except for that last one. And only one on this side. Those are just little, can you see that? Those are just regular like 194s. Why would they make them all mismatched like that? I don't know. We're not too worried about it though. I do like the lights, they look good. Halos look nice. And the yellow fogs. Perfect touch. I would have done that anyway, now I don't have to. But fluids are good now. We're gonna let it run for a minute, and when they get done in there, I'll take it down the road again, I guess. No more noise when we hit the brakes. How about that? It's driving nice. Temperature's good. Good stuff. Got to clean the windshield if nothing else, because I don't know what's wiped all over the inside of it, but that's, I don't know if you can even see that, but there's some kind of shit all over it. Otherwise, motoring along pretty nicely. Got the AC kicking in it today. All right, well, I think that's gonna be it. I think we can wrap this one up. Fluids are done, brakes are done. That's a dark spot in the parking lot. I was like, is it leaking something? It's not leaking. But yeah, so I don't know. I think this will be another successful $500 Dodge Ram revival. It's not pretty, but it's what we can do with a big budget. So Blue Devil patched up that head good enough to get it through the winter at least. And we'll maybe look into putting some heads on it, or maybe just find a lower mile engine altogether with 190 something thousand. I thought it was lower than that, but it's 190. I could probably get like 100,000 mile engine or something for less than $2,000 if the truck proves that it's worth it. If the truck gives us more problems here and there, or acts up, shit like that, you know, I don't know what we'll do. But for now, we've made a good running, good driving truck, air conditioning, 4 new tires, and if you don't look at the bed, it looks really nice, you know? I think that's a winner. 500 bucks, like I said, the wheels and tires are worth 500 bucks. The rest of the truck was just a bonus. And with that, I'm closing out this video. 500 bucks seems to be my magic number for finding things for sale, whether we negotiate down to 500 or you just start at 5. This truck was listed at 5, so there was no negotiation needed. Didn't even bother. 500 bucks cash money. We're moving on with life. Thank you all for watching. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think of another 500 Dodge Ram, and what you think of that 4.7, and what do you think about that Blue Devil? Is that going to be a permanent fix, a temporary fix? Is it going to last 2 days, 2 years? I've kind of got my doubts. After it runs, so I drove it, if you drive it at 45 minutes to an hour or so, it will eventually warm up to about the dead middle, and it'll sit there in the dead middle. But it takes 45 minutes to an hour of driving to get it all the way up to that dead middle. Doesn't overheat though. We're not puking any coolant out like before, and the hoses aren't way over pressurized like a basketball, but still a little skeptical. Either way, that's it. We'll catch you in the next one. So it only seemed fitting to tag this in here at the very end, but we've been driving the truck some more for a few days, and the check engine light turned itself off. I never even put the evap hose back onto the filler neck because I don't have the filler neck yet. So I've been having to add gas with a hose to a pump so I can put it straight in the tank. But yeah, after driving it around, the check engine light magically fixed itself. So the truck is self-healing. How about that? All right, that's the end of it for real this time. Thanks for watching.